I think that's just a really good opportunity to learn a new language and a new culture.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're watching Campus France Live. Thanks a lot to be there with us. Today, we are going to talk about higher education in France. And even in Europe, thanks to join Erasmus Mundus Joint Master in the Future of Power Systems at Centrale Nantes. Its name is Dream Dynamics of Renewables Based Power Systems. We are going to explore that and to discover the specificity of joint program in Europe. To talk about that, I'm very pleased to welcome Bogdan Marinescu. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
You're a professor at École Centrale Nantes. We are also with Alice Hérault. Hello.
Hello.
You're an international master's manager, and I'm very pleased to welcome Ziki Kortmeyer. Hello.
Hello.
One of the students of the master. You can begin to ask all the questions that you have about the masters and the different specificities. But to begin, can you maybe, Bogdan, present École Centrale Nantes in a few words?
Yes, of course. So École Centrale, it's an engineering school, a high engineering school in France with very many specialties. So I will focus, of course, to the one that which are the thematics of these masters. So it's about power system in general. So means everything from production, transmission, and distribution, which makes a whole system. And we are dealing with the dynamics of that. So we are doing automatic control in the sense of analysis and control of all the dynamic devices. So the school, it's of course specialties are wider than that. So we have many activities around renewables, about control, other systems like robots and any other mechanical systems. And we have especially many foreign students for international masters, like the one that we'll present to you today, the Dream one.
And Alice, Centrale Nantes has a really strong history. It has been founded in 1919.
Yes, exactly. It has been founded in 1919, and it is a member of a group of École Centrale Group. There are 5 in France, and since January 2022, it is also a component institution of the new Nantes University.
So that's a strong history, and that's a strong links with other. You offer, as we can see, as we're going to see, a master, but you have other diplomas for students.
Yes, definitely. So the different degrees that we are offering at Centrale Nantes are, there is a bachelor which opened recently. There are, of course, the National Engineering Diploma, which is a strong, very strong diploma and accredited by the Ministry of Education and the French Commission of Engineer, and also master's degree, doctorates. And today we would like to focus on one master's degree that is opening in September.
So that's a degree called DREAM, and as I was explaining, it's an international degree. First of all, Bogdan, can you tell us what this program DREAM is?
Well, though this it's it's an international program for power system in general. So we're training engineers and scientists for this wide domain, and we focus on dynamics, dynamic control of all the elements that are in a power system that I mentioned just before, from the production to the loads. And we are proposing a new approach and a new view of these systems in the perspective of future smart grids, which have more different generators, the renewable ones, and different connections to the grid via power electronics, by converters. So it's a mix of many disciplines. So not only I quoted only automatic control and power systems, but we have zooms. We need competence in power electronics, in applied mathematics, and there are at least 4 or 5 disciplines that we try to merge together. And it's more than that. It's more than a packaging of many fields. We are trying to promote a new approach, which I may call it system-based approach, like the people from automatic control know what this means. So this means to treat all the dynamics aspects into a joint manner, a coordinated manner, with a strong mathematical view for that. So this is the master in few words, the kernel part, and we target to form, as I mentioned, a new generation of specialists for these power systems, which are much more exigent, like in the past. So we need all these disciplines. We need new views to solve new problems, which are more difficult now and in future. And this is our target to propose, starting from, let's say, in 2 years, to issue new generations of specialists in power system and smart grids in this sense.
And Alice, as we were saying, it's an Erasmus Mundus program. What does it mean concretely? There is an international part and an international component in the master.
Yes, exactly. So it's a very particular program as an Erasmus Mundus program. It means that it has been selected by the European Commission among many applications to be funded directly by the European Commission. And that allows us to actually give scholarships to the best students that we accepted. And there is also a very important thing on this master. It is that we actually manage it with 3 other universities in Europe. So the master is coordinated by Centrale Nantes, but we also manage the program with 3 other universities. One in Berlin, in Germany, another one in Bucharest, and another one in Barcelona. And altogether, the expertise of those 4 universities gives a really good excellence to the academic courses of the master. And also opportunities to do mobility for the students during the 2 years of the program.
So that's the idea of having an international program and an international diploma. Maybe, Ziki, you can tell us more about your background and about a specific question. Why did you choose an Erasmus Mundus diploma and not a more classic master's degree?
Well, I come from the United States and I studied electrical engineering there. And I found as I furthered my education, I really wanted to get into robotics specifically. So I'm actually a Jamaro student, which is another Erasmus program here because, of course, Dream, this is going to be the first year they offer that. So wasn't an option for me. But yeah, I wanted to study robotics in France. I found Jamaro, which is, if you guys are not familiar with, is an Erasmus with a school in Japan, University of Keio. And I knew that was the program I wanted, to get this really strong international presence, to really learn how to live and work in all these different cultures throughout the world.
Mm. And that was the idea to have a different point of view on your subject, I imagine. Maybe, Bogdan, you can tell us more about the consortium members?
Yes, the consortium is built in this spirit, is to pack together competences, of course, but not only, is to have also several partners in different parts of Europe and in the world. So we have, as Alice mentioned, the 3 partners. So we are 4 university, main university to carry this master. Apart from École Centrale Nantes, we have Polytechnical University of Bucharest, HTW Engineering School in Berlin, in Germany, and UPC in Barcelona, in Spain. So these are the main partners. So mains in the sense that classes will be given in these 4 towns in Europe. But we have also many other associated partners, both from academic and industry sides. And these partners are all over the world. So we have partners from from America, from South America, from Japan, from Korea, from Egypt. So these are only some examples. And we have also kernel industrial partners from these from the fields of power systems. So we have a transmission system operator, which is French. We have manufacturers like Siemens, and we cover all the fields of power systems, and this is an important topic. And we cover many regions of the world.
And what is the structure of the program, Bogdan?
So the program is we have a mobility scheme to encourage students to discover all other countries, other partners, other cultures. So our mobility scheme is built on 2 years. So it's a 2 years master. For the first year, we have 2 semesters for each year. For the first year, we have a first semester in Nantes. So with all the students will study here 6 months. And this is a sort of background semester. So as I mentioned, we will welcome students from many disciplines, from power system, automatic control, applied mathematics, and so on. So this first semester is intended to homogenize all the backgrounds, and to have at the end of this semester all students having the same background knowledge in these 4 disciplines, to be able to follow the more specialized classes, which are in second and third semester. So second semester is split among the 3 other partners. So will be classes students will choose to go to Bucharest, to Berlin, or to Barcelona. And they will have a second semester, so in parallel, in groups in parallel, but with a common kernel of 3 classes that are the same in each partner university. And third semester is in 4 universities, again in parallel, with some specialized tracks. So in Nantes, Bucharest, Berlin, Barcelona. And the last semester, fourth semester in year 2, is devoted to master thesis. And it's 6 months and can be anywhere in partners or industry or in other place.
And Alice, in which languages is the program, is the master taught?
So the program is fully taught in English, 100% for all the scientific courses and the regular program. But since it's also important for students to be able to get a cultural experience of all the countries where they are living, where they are studying. There are also national language courses. So the students who, when they will be in Nantes, they will study French. They will have French courses, and it will be the same for Romanian, German, and Spanish in all the 3 other universities.
And another important question that people watching us today are asking themselves is about the different accreditations. What are the accreditation of this master?
So first of all, it has been selected by the European Commission. So we are more or less, well, kind of accredited by the Erasmus Mundus. The Erasmus Mundus label, and we are also accredited, like all programs at Centrale, by the French Ministry of Education, and also by the Commission des Titres d'Ingénieurs, the CTI, which is a commission for engineering schools in France. And well, we have other important partnerships, but those are the most important.
If you're joining us, you're watching Campus France Live, and we are exploring European Master Erasmus Mundus program, which is called DREAM, and which is about different topics, dynamics of renewables-based power system. We have seen a little more details about the program, about the idea. We're now going to focus about the pedagogy and about the different classes that you are going to follow. Bogdan, what will be the program of the master? What are going to be concretely the different classes, the different courses that the students are going to follow?
Well, the classes are, as I mentioned, so we have a sort of multidisciplinary view in this master. So the classes are from different disciplines, from power system, renewable technology, renewable energy technologies, automatic control, and applied mathematics for modeling and things like that. So as I mentioned, this first semester will be with these basics in Nantes, and after that we'll have more specialized classes to partners. So here we have, I can mention, so for example, tracks we are more oriented to renewable energies and insertion to the grid. Other classes more oriented to control, so how to control a windmill, how to control power fluxes on the grid, and the another important track is more specialized to power converters used in power systems. So how to run these converters. Renewables are quite systematically now connected to the grid by these power converters, how to control them, how to analyze stability, and things like that. So these are, well, roughly speaking, the disciplines and the classes. So they are organized in several ways, so which is quite balanced. So we have what we call master teaching. So we have a professor giving classes, but we have also, and students listening to that, but we have also laboratory work, we have exercise classes, and we have projects with our researchers and on material in laboratories, which are very well developed in all 4 partner universities. So each semester has a good balance from the pedagogical view, a good balance between all these approaches for teaching.
The idea is to have both a technical and theoretical point of view, and also a more practical point of view.
Of course. So we have, we'll give the theoretical notions in these magistral classes, and we have many laboratory works, many exercises, and many invited speakers from industry in all classes to connect directly the theory with the practice in engineering companies, and to have direct contact with the students. So this is the way also to launch collaborations between students and the industry. So to find master thesis and other projects and jobs for after the masters in industry or in academy.
We're going also to talk about the student life and to know more about the life at Nantes and in the other countries. Maybe, Ziki, you can describe a little bit what your student experience is at Centrale Nantes and in this Erasmus program that is not the same, but that is also an Erasmus program.
Yeah, of course. Student life here at Centrale, there's always something going on, I swear. And I think one of my favorite parts of the student life here at Centrale is there's something like 100 different student organizations and clubs, ranging from do-it-yourself building projects to racing robotic boats, to sports and art and music and anything you can think of, really. And that leaves the student the ability to get as involved as they want, or if you prefer just to hang out and do your own thing, you can do that too. And also, of course, being in France, like she was saying, there is the possibility to get as involved in French culture as you want, to really study the language. I know I've been doing that a lot, trying to really work on my French, and I think that's just a really good opportunity to learn a new language and a new culture.
And as an international student coming directly from the US, did you have some fears before coming to France, before joining Centrale Nantes? It's a new country, it's a new way of life. Was it for you a source of stress, or was it kind of okay at the beginning?
For me, it wasn't too bad. You know, it was a little scary, a whole another continent across this, huge ocean for me. But it turned out it wasn't too bad. Life isn't too different, except for usually in a different language, just for the day-to-day stuff. But luckily, all the studies are in English, which really helps, relieve a lot of that stress. And I think that was really key for me.
And you had a little French level before coming to France, because you studied earlier some French, or how was your French level?
Yep, I did have some French experience, but there's not a lot of French speakers where I come from in the US, so I didn't have much spoken experience. And one thing I like about my program is that there is really no requirement to speak French, but there is the opportunity to learn French if you want to, and that's why I chose it.
And now you have a pretty good French level. I heard you before. That's a level that allows you to speak with other people, to go out, to shop in French.
Yep, it does get the job done. And actually, there's an organization here in Nantes that connects students, especially Erasmus students, with Nantes families. And it allows you to, about once a month, you can go spend an evening with them, maybe have dinner, go for a walk, do whatever. And that's been a really good opportunity for me to really practice and really refine my French.
Regarding the student experience, Alice, maybe you can tell us a few words about the different events organized on campus, because the students have a lot of energy to entertain and to make discover the French culture. What are the different events organized on campus?
Well, there are many different events. There are, the events that are organized by all the clubs and associations that Zig mentioned just before. There are also the Integration Week at the beginning of the academic year, which is organized by the school, and the association also participate. And there are also different conferences on scientific topics, but not only film projections, many different things. As Zig said, there's always something going on campus.
And there is another important subject. It's the accommodation subject, because when going to a new country, going to a new city, you want to know if there is some help with the fact of finding an accommodation. Do you provide an accommodation service, Alice?
Yes, it is a tricky topic for the international students because we understand very well that it's a bit stressful to find an accommodation or to look for it in a new country. So I am part of the international relations department of Central, and we actually are 10 persons working in this department, and among them 3 in the admission department. And our role is actually to help students find accommodation and help them also with administrative processes, etc. And we do have partnerships with student residencies, with association with Nantes families as well. We offer different types of accommodation, and also if the students prefer to look by themselves for a shared flat with other students or other accommodation types, we also have a very extensive practical guide on accommodation in Nantes. And since the students will move to other countries and cities, we know for sure that every institution in the program has an international team, a local international team, who also helps the students wherever the city they will go to. They will find a team and contacts to help them with
I'm going
it.
to talk about the admission process because it's a really important part to go and to be accepted to study at Centrale Nantes. Bogdan, I'm going back to you now. What is the background that you require to study in the DREAM program?
Yes, as I mentioned, the DREAM program, it's a multidisciplinary field program. So we have the background to select students. It's also very wide. So we are welcoming students from many disciplines. The one I mentioned before, of course, power system, which is the background one. In general, power systems. So with some specialized fields like power electronics also. We welcome students with background in automatic control or applied mathematics. So these are the main disciplines. And of course, qualities, it's the criteria, the main criteria to select them. And we have this first semester in Nantes to aggregate all these fields. So students with some background in one of these disciplines are welcome and can integrate here in the first semester to have to acquire the rest of the background that is needed.
We're going to explore and to talk about the different steps to apply in a few seconds. But before that, as I know, Ziki, that you have a little time imperative. I'm just going to ask you. You did the different admission steps a few months ago. What would be your advice in order to have a successful application process? What would you like to share with the audience watching us today?
I really think it's as simple as just following the directions as best you can. Just have as good of a background, strong academics as you can possibly have. That always helps. Strong letters of recommendation are great too. And for my application, they really emphasized having a multidisciplinary background. Being robotics, it's a multidisciplinary field. So I had the academics of electrical, and then I just talked about projects that were computer science or mechanical, and I didn't really get direct feedback other than I got accepted, so seems to work out.
Thanks a lot, Ziki, for having been with us today. We are pursuing this live session with you. Alice, can you tell us what are the different steps to apply to the master?
So of course, the first very important step is to visit our webpage because all the important information is in there, whether it's about the academic background that is required, the English level as well, the deadlines, What else? And all the documents that students need to upload on the platform. And the second step, of course, is to open your application. It is a two-steps application process. First, you have to fill in the application form with all your personal data, and in a second stage, you will have to upload all the documents that are required, all the supporting documents, such as your CV, your letters, contacts for recommendation, and your transcript, degrees, all this information is on the website.
And there is a calendar to follow to apply. What is the calendar for the application procedure?
So we opened the application last week on Friday, and we already have received some applications. So we are glad about that. The first important deadline is on March 18th. This is for students who want to apply for the scholarship. It is still possible to apply after March 18th, but the students will not be considered for the scholarship opportunity. So don't forget this date. And after March 18th, the two following deadlines are May 31st for the students who need a visa, so to let them some time to do all the process. And for European students who do not need to apply for a visa, they can apply until June 22nd.
There is a specificity with this program is the fact that there are some scholarships linked to it. Can you tell us more about the different scholarships opportunities with the master?
Yes, indeed. There are two types of scholarships that we offer. The first one is the a classic Erasmus Mundus scholarship. It is a scholarship of 1,400 euros per month for the whole duration of the program, which is 2 years. And the second type of scholarship is what we call the consortium scholarship. This one is a bit different because it will be a reduction of the tuition fees. So the students who get the first scholarship, the Erasmus Mundus, they do not have to pay for, they don't have to pay tuition fees. The second type of students will have to pay for tuition fees, but they will benefit from a reduction of them.
Maybe Bogdan, to help the future students to have a better view of this admission process, can you explain what you're exactly looking at in the different student applications?
Well, first thing is the level, just simply the level. So we were looking to the background, so the bachelor level, and the profile. So as I mentioned, we are welcoming students from these 4 disciplines already mentioned. So there are many criteria, but mainly we are looking for good background, so in these fields, and good level, scholar level. So means good scores in the past, during the period of bachelor.
And what would be your advice in order to have a successful admission? As we said, there is a personal statement that can sometimes be a little bit frightening for the students. What do you advise them to put in their personal statement, for instance?
So to explain, yes, the background and the experience. For in some cases, they have experience for internship with, for example, with industries or in the fields of the master. This is very important to have such a primary experience, and to explain the motivation, their personal motivation for the following path. As I mentioned, the Power system, it's a very wide domain, and we have even a wider one with these connections with power electronics, with automatic control. So it's very important for the students to stay a little with themselves and to think what they want to do, and if this fits with this framework, and to explain how they see that, and so which is their motivation. So
and once admitted, it's not the end of the process, because there are different administrative steps for the international student. As you mentioned, Alice, there is all the visa procedure, and then if you're applying for an internship, you also have some steps to do. How do you help students with all these administrative steps that can be in France a little bit complicated?
Well, the students, once they are accepted in the program, are really guided by our services. Along with their acceptance, they will receive some documents such as guides for accommodation. They will receive support from us. We will organize an online meeting during the preparation of the semester to know how it's going on how it's going for them, their preparation, and so on. So they are not left alone in their preparation, and of course they can always contact us by email. We can still always organize meetings if it's necessary. And but yes, we have also developed quite extensive guides for practical life accommodation in France, and I think those guides are quite helpful.
And to conclude this live session dedicated to the DREAM program of Centrale Nantes, we're going to make a little focus on the professional world, because it's a key idea after studying is finding a job opportunity. Bogdan, first of all, we're going to follow step by step. The first step is to find an internship. Is it possible to do an internship during the program?
Yes, it's even very easy, because the consortium is built for that. So as I mentioned, we have many associated partners, so almost 12 to 15 universities and around 12 companies, industries. So they are here for that. So we'll have preparation sessions, special session, winter school, accommodation weeks with all these partners, meeting the students. So the students can start even from September, for the first week coming in Nantes, to make contacts for this internship. So this is the first stage. And after that, of course, they can apply for a job in this domain, which is quite wide. So we have not only power system, as I mentioned. I just review some typical jobs you can work for a company, a producer, for example, or a transmission system operator, or for a company building on a manufacturer, somebody building equipments like windmills, converters, and things like that. Or there are also jobs in the regulation system, in the sense of the law. So we have all over the world, the electricity is regulated by state-owned devices, which are giving the rules, the technical rules for that. So these are also technical jobs, highly technical jobs that can be taken going out from this master.
So a lot of different opportunities in a lot of different sectors. What are the salaries that students can expect after graduating, Bogdan?
Well, this is a tough question, because it depends on the region, on the country. So I can tell for France, it's first year job for such an engineer with such a background, a Master of Science in industry, for example, it's around, I think, 2,500, 2,800 euros in good companies. And well, on university side, it's a little lower, because it's more oriented to research, and so profiles are different. Salaries are a little lower, but for companies, I think this is the expected level in France.
And is it possible, Alice, to stay in France after graduation? Because it's sometimes the wish of the people when they come to study to France. So is it possible for them?
Yes, of course. So at the end of the program, the students will get 2 or 3 degrees depending on where they have studied. So they will have the Centrale Nantes master degree, that's for sure, and it is a recognized degree in France and also worldwide. And they will also get 1 other or 2 other degrees from the 2 other institutions, and all of them are recognized institutions. So this and also the thesis at the end of the master, which will be a really good experience. They will give really good assets for the students to find a job in France if they want to.
We're now at the end of the live session. Before leaving you, I'm going to ask you, Bogdan and Alice, what's your last advice for the people watching us, for the maybe future students watching us today? Would be, let's begin with you, Bogdan. What would be your advice for the people watching us today?
Well, to go into details for that, to see more details what the dream is. So this is, as Alice said, we have a platform, a website. So go there, contact us. Of course, we are ready to answer and to explain more things if necessary. And well, to apply for Dream, I hope.
And you, Alice, what would be your last advice for the people watching us today?
I would recommend to pay attention to the deadline, because the application period this year is really short. It's 1 month. So March 18th will be here very soon. And since there are some documents that might be a bit longer to get, for example, recommendation letters, things like that, yeah, I would recommend to anticipate as much as possible the application procedure.
Okay, so don't miss the calendar and be careful with all the admission steps. Thanks a lot, Bogdan and Alice, for having been with us today and for having shared and present this European Master Dream. And thanks to Ziki, who was with us at the beginning of this live session. If you still have questions, don't hesitate to keep on asking them on the different chat sections, because the school is going to watch them. I mean, if you want to know more, don't hesitate to visit the website of the Master Dream. See you soon on Campus France Live.